Splatoon. I know it, you know it, it is a game series that lasted for at least 9, almost 10 years. Man, I'm old. But back in the days of the original Splatoon, there was one question that almost everyone in the fandom asked that year. How old are the Squid Sisters? Now, before you question this question, I promise that this question will make you surprised by the answer. And even I, a Splatoon fan, am surprised how old the cousins are. But let's make this more interesting. How about the true ages of all the idols? But Sunpo, I hear you ask, the wiki already states the true age up to Splatoon 3, and to that, my dear viewer, you have been lied to. But if you want to believe that Marie is 24 to 26 years old in 3, then be my guest. But trust me, she is much older than that.
And the answer may surprise you. Oh man.
In this video, we'll start with the Squid Sisters because they are the OG idols. And we reach our first problem. How old are they in Splatoon 1? Even though the wiki states that both of the cousins are 17, in actuality, if you were a true fan, they have two different ages. Once, according to Nintendo of America, they are 18. However, in Japan, they're 16. And then, yeah, so the thing is that both of these posts are on when Splatoon 2 came out. I wonder why. Luckily, it doesn't matter in the long run, as the fandom agrees with them both being 17, and Nintendo as well. So, but if you really wanted to be like 18 or 16, depending if you agree with America or Japan initially, you can add or take away a year in the final total that we'll be doing in this video, but it won't matter in the long run. We'll start with something simple and work our way up the years between the games. The Squid Sisters are, for the sake of this video, 17 in Splatoon 1, and since a year between games is canon, 2 years has passed, making them 19 in Splatoon 2, and then 5 years then passed towards Splatoon 3, making them 24. Yes, both of them. And this is what the wiki states. That, however, was in our world. The thing is, Splatoon's time frame is much different in terms of context and events. So, what if we added a few things? In Splatoon 1, we had to take two things into account. That is the main story and the Splatfest. This is really easy since for Splatfest, there were no such thing as reruns at this time. And of course, both the major holiday events that I'm going to be taking to, Halloween and Christmas, they just happen in the same year in Splatoon 1. That's kind of easy to know. So in terms of the story mode, we could definitely say they might take at least like maybe 6 months or something. So not exactly a year, but considering when this game actually released, we'll point this as our actual starting point, with the Squid Sisters actually being hired possibly like in the earlier of the year, making like the 6 or whatever months that would take to complete this year. Yeah, I think 1 year should actually suffice to say that they actually start. You could actually take this off, but I'm gonna put it in the video just because it kind of makes sense. As for the Christmas and Halloween one, yeah, that's just technically a year. That's just, we can just say that that actually just passed. Nothing much to it. The only other thing is the crossover Splatfest, specifically since they're in Japan. But however, these two are actually canon, so we're actually putting this in. Considering the time it takes to actually have a crossover finalized and, you know, greenlit, it would take at least a year. I would assume in Splatoon it will be a bit more shorter than it would be in real life, so 1 year. That would mean that both the Transformers and Squid Girl crossovers will count as 1 year each. That since is the minimum to get the licensing to use it in an event, and there's merch of it, of course, so yeah, I think 1 year is actually good enough, at least in the world of Splatoon. Making this 4 years instead, making them, the Squid Sisters, at the end of Splatoon, 21 years old, before the time skip. And then in Splatoon 2, with the time skip, they're 23. Yeah, remember, 2 years has passed. Using the same rules, it should be reasonable that the story of Splatoon 2 should at least last 1 year as well. This includes the sake for the video, the DLC, Octo expansion, giving us, 2 more extra years. As for the Splatfest, we know that Halloween and Christmas were not placed on the same year compared to Splatoon 1, so that's 2 extra years. Let's not forget about the Grand Festival that ended Splatoon 2, so let's say that for the sake of the Grand Festival, another year was added because it is a very big event, making the Squid Sisters 28 at the end of Splatoon 2. If you're wondering about the Mario crossover in Splatoon 2, yes, that does count. Even if it is not canon to our world, the statements that Marina told Pearl, it makes it canon to their timeline. So the Squid Sisters are actually 29 before the next time skip. Leading up to Splatoon 3, well, the time skip first, 5 years making them 34. And then we get to Splatoon 3 proper. You all know the drill at this point. The layout of Splatoon 3 is the same as Splatoon 2. 1 year for the story mode, 1 year for the Halloween, since it's not placed as with the Christmas one. Christmas then takes another year. The Pokemon crossover, yes, there was a Pokemon crossover that promotes, Scarlet and Violet, almost says Sword and Shield, that was very wrong. But yeah, that counts as another year. And of course, another final year for the biggest Grand Festival. That's not the actual title, Grand Festival is the actual title. It's just very big because of the crossover with all the other idols. The DLC side order is a tough one, to be honest. But I do think it also takes a year, since the events in the members could take at least like 1 real life week in their world, basically, just because it's a computerized program. But according to Deepcut, the missing people in Splatoon 2 seem to have been going on for a pretty long while, and it just gotten up to a point that needs to be looked at, so we'll just assume that this took place in a whole year. That leaves 6 extra years, making the Squid Sisters a now whopping 40 years of age. But we are not done yet. Since Nintendo are rerunning the Splatfests again, we're counting it all over again. But don't worry, we're not gonna do like an infinite amount. We're just gonna do it once. Because, well, we don't know when Splatoon 4 is coming out. Most likely when the Switch 2, I hope that's not the actual name, comes out, we'll know how many reruns it did. But for now, we're just gonna do one. And we're not counting Pokemon because that's just a one-time thing, and it's gonna be pretty awkward just to have another rerun of a Splatfest that was meant to promote a game. We should also take into account that there might be another Grand Festival, and hell with it. I would love to have another Grand Festival. It was maybe the best Grand Festival, I would say, in a good time. And I know it's just the second one, but hey, at least everybody can actually complete the story and see DJ Octavio finally, right? But this would just give us another 3 years, making the final age of the Squid Sisters 43. Yeah, 43. They're like maybe possibly twice the age as you and me. Like, legit. That is just wow. Now let's talk about the other idols. Okay, this should not be a problem at all. So next off is Off the Hook. Pearl is officially and canonically 21, and Marina is 18. Adding 5 years that we found to Splatoon 2, Pearl is 26 and Marina is 23. With the time skip of Splatoon 3, we'll be adding 5 more years, meaning that Pearl is now 21, Marina is 28. Adding the 9 possible years in Splatoon 3, Pearl's final age is 40 and Marina's is 37. Things get a bit weird with Deepcut though. Yeah, I told you that Off the Hook is actually pretty easy. We're just gonna add all the years we found, and lo and behold, that's just how the ages are. Yeah. Going back to Deepcut, they don't actually have a canonical age. However, With the context that we got through each new idol, we can at least say that they're younger than them. Also, given that they are treasure hunters, at least for me, I think it's safe to say that they're all around like 20 to 30 years of age. Shiver should be the oldest as she is the leader and the most mature based on her actions. At most, I think that she could be either like 27 or 28 years old, so I'm going to be using these two numbers just as a possibility. And safe to say that Fry is maybe the second oldest and Big Man is the youngest. For Fry, I think she can be like between 24 to 26, and Big Man being 19 and 23. With their only appearance being Splatoon 3, we can just add 9 years to them, making Shiver either 36 or 37, Fry being 33 to 35, and Big Man 28 to 32. And that's the ages of the main idols. Yes, the Squid Sisters were taking so long, but the other idols were pretty easy because we did all the math already. Or at least my math. I could be wrong with some of this, more than that maybe in the later down the line maybe. I don't know. I'm saying this off script too, so yeah, in the comments below, if I actually miss something or misinterpret something, just let me know down in the comments so I can maybe reevaluate what I just did. But this is just my reasonings onto why I put these years. But don't worry, these two are gonna be either pretty interesting or just kind of maybe. And the reason why I said that is because we only have 2 more idols. No, not the jellyfish. We're not doing the jellyfishes. We're gonna do the other 2 that are actually confirmed to be idols in Splatoon 3 and 2, I guess. Dead Fish, or Dead Fish 1, is also a music artist. And while not really an idol, she does have that type of status, just a little bit more of a low profile one. Her first appearance is in Splatoon 2, but the lore also implies that she was also in the OG Splatoon, although maybe just in relation with Marina. Regardless, we're using the main appearance of Ek. In Splatoon 3, we know that she and Marina were both colleagues in the past, but it was stated that Marina was the younger and smarter of the two. I will assume that Ek is 20 by the time of Splatoon 2, but it could be argued that to be much more younger, possibly just 19. But, so yeah, I'm just gonna put it as 20 since I think her being 2 years older makes a tiny bit more sense. But, however, plugging in the 20 years we have in total, she's potentially 40 at the end of Splatoon 3. And then the final one, you ready for this? The final idol is actually our main big bad. Ex-big bad? I guess? DJ Octavio. Why? Well, the reason why he's actually an idol is because he has his own booth in Splatoon 3's Grand Festival if you finish the main story. So he counts. Octavio is over 100 years old. So plugging in the 46 years we have found, he is over 146. Which isn't really much to consider, especially since how old he is. And to be honest, it's been stated that he is over 100 years old, even the wiki supports this. So, over 100 years, he could be either 100 or 199. So, take with that what you will. Just add the 46 years and we'll just be done with it. I am not gonna find Octavio's true age because, for all we know, it's only been stated that he is over 100 years old. He still technically is over 100 years old, even with this number, but I feel like it's pretty funny since it doesn't really matter for him. He's already over 100 years. Guess how many times I said 100 in this part of the video. And that's all the idols' ages, and I know that this is not 100% true. I could get things wrong in this video. Hell, I think I know I have some information wrong in this video in terms of like Splatfests or information on some story or dialogue or stuff like that. And of course, in terms of this type of video, it's all up to down to the interpretation. If your interpretation of Splatfest stories are a little more different than mine, be my guest. It is just my opinion. I'm just doing this video just for fun. And I hope you can see that the secret ages of everybody's idols, and now that I don't need to feel too old when I have to listen to these characters. Unless of course in Splatoon 4 we only have like a 1 year time skip and it will take about like maybe a few years until that comes out, like they have a canonical time skip, then man, I don't know what I'm supposed to think about that. But like, yeah, either way, if I have anything wrong in this video, just let me know in the comments down below. This is actually a pretty nice video to actually do. And if you guys wondering about like the review of the Splatoon series, that's coming up soon. Apparently I didn't have enough time to do that either, but yeah, hopefully I can get that out before Splatoon 4, but if Splatoon 4 comes out before I ever do that video, I have to wait for that one to come out too. And believe me, I'm also getting Splatoon 4. I love this series so much, and yet, why is Splatoon 3 even on the Switch? Like, it could just be on the next console. Splatoon 2 didn't need to die so early. Either way, yeah, that's about it. My name's Sunpo. I'll see you guys later. Hopefully you can check out my other content on the channel. I'm actually going off script right now, so I might be a little stuttery or something like that. Also, do not get me started on the jellyfish idols. They could all be immortal jellyfish, and then this whole age topic would not work because they're always reset to 0, meaning that every time that they live in Splatoon 3, their ages could have been reset or stacked or whatever. Who knows if they remember anything? I think immortal jellyfish don't remember anything, but then again, I don't know if they actually do have anything to remember, but like, I don't know. Instincts, I guess? Yeah, we'll just call it that. Either way, this is the actual end of the video, so bye now.